Welcome back, everyone, to the Silent Hill 2 project. I want to thank everybody again that is keeping up with this series of Let's Plays. And I know it's kind of a different kind of thing, especially for the subscribers to my channel, because you guys have watched me make truck driving vlogs for the past year and a half, and then all of a sudden I'm just making these videos about this game, and it just was completely random, came out of nowhere. But I gave you a lot of good reasons as to why I'm doing that. With that being said, I would like to add that yes, I am still a truck driver. I'm working full-time, working about 60, sometimes more hours a week. I get 2 days off. I have a family, I have children, and I'm kind of busy whenever I do get home from work. So with that being said, I just want to remind you guys that this is a passion project. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a get popular or get the algorithm's attention on YouTube kind of deal. No, this is straight up just passion for me. It's a lot of work to do this and put it together and try to make it fit with my schedule. So in saying that, I would like to just clarify that I can't guarantee that the videos from this point on will be as consistent as they have been up to this point. And that's simply just because I'm not always going to have a lot of time to make them. And they are very time consuming. It takes a long time to edit and render video games. You know, I gotta hand it to the people that actually are successful on YouTube in doing this, the ones that actually are popular, that do have an upper hand on the algorithm. You guys, I'm sure you work your asses off doing what you do, and I appreciate what you do. A lot of the gamers on YouTube have actually inspired me to make this. But I want to bring up a comment that I got from one particular person. The main thing I want to point out in their comment is when they they kind of called me out for making a statement or a complaint in part 2. Pretty sure that's what it was. When I was going through the town the first time, and I made the comment after reading all these notes about the strange guy that came into town and broke the jukebox, and all the notes that we were finding on this guy. And I made the comment, who cares? Like, who is this guy? Why should we care? And he kind of called me out here. He's like, I'd like to add to something that you brought up a while back in town in the remake, with all the notes bringing up that strange guy. I think those might be alluding to James, especially with what we learn about him and Mary's situation much later in the game. It's kind of weird that some guy comes into town breaking things and acting manic, but does it sound like a guy we know? Laugh out loud. The last note even leads you to a copy of James's car behind Neely's bar. And so that's his theory on it. And I think that's a really good theory, especially in the direction that we're heading in. And no, I didn't think, I'll be honest with you, I never stopped to think that that could actually be James, that all those notes are about. It makes a lot of sense, except for one note in particular that I'll bring up, and I'll try to find it and put it on the screen here. But there is a note in Groovy Music that reveals who the strange guy that broke the stuff is. There's a note in Groovy Music about him, and then there's a note in Neely's bar about him. The note in Groovy Music says that the strange guy that broke the jukebox is the janitor, and that it doesn't give his name, it just says he's a janitor. And so we know that, you know, that doesn't really give a whole lot of insight on whether or not that's James. But we've also got another note, I believe it's in Neely's bar, that says the guy that broke the jukebox stays in the Saul Street apartments. And we know for a fact that James doesn't live in Silent Hill. He's just coming to find Mary. So I disagree with you. I don't think that the strange guy is James, but I like your thinking. I like the way you think. I like the critical aspect of it and the way that you're approaching. And you've got an open mind toward this, and that's all I really want, guys. I'm going to all this trouble, and that's all I just want a bunch of open-minded people to enjoy both of these games with me. And I'm going to a lot of effort to do this. And so I want to thank you again, everybody that has been watching. You guys, you're awesome. If you haven't left a comment, I encourage you to do so. If you have questions or there's anything that you want me to point out, because guys, bear in mind, I'm not trying to say that I'm the be all end all when it comes to, knowledge on this game. I'm not even close. I know I missed a bunch of stuff in town, that there's probably, tons of Easter eggs in the original game in the first part of town, Southville, the east side, when you first get into town. I know I overlooked a bunch of stuff, and it's just simply because I'm trying to hurry. I'm trying to take my time, but I'm trying to hurry and just point out the things that stand out the most to me. And like I said in part one, the main goal that I have here and go into all this effort to make this project is to just point things out that maybe you haven't considered before about the games. I don't know a lot about the remake, I don't know that much about it. It's new, it just came out, as opposed to the original that I've been playing for 23 years. So again, this isn't about me saying I'm right, I'm absolutely right. I'm just pointing things out that really caught my attention and brought me back to this game, because, I thought I knew what Silent Hill 2 was about, and then I just discovered all this other stuff, and it just made it even more meaningful to me, especially as I've grown up, and matured, like I said, into an adult. I have a different perspective of the game now, and it means so much more to me. I think that a lot of the aspects from the plot of Silent Hill 2, you kind of have to grow up, you kind of have to have some life experiences to really appreciate it for what it is. And so I want to thank this guy again for leaving his comment, and say, don't hesitate to leave any more. I'm definitely into the way that you're thinking about things and everything that you bring up. And it's fine. Like you think that that's James, that all those notes are about. That's fine, I really like your point. I would think the same thing, but like I said, you find those other notes that allude to it being this other guy that's a janitor. Apparently, maybe he's a janitor of the apartments, and maybe he lives on Saul Street in those other apartments. And so that's kind of how I am looking at it. So I don't necessarily agree with you, but there are a lot of things that you said in your comment that line up with what I'm going to talk about in this video. So I've been talking for long enough. Thanks, guys. Welcome back. Let's get into the game.